In this video, I'm going to talk about how to avoid paying taxes legally for US citizens and non-US citizens. Doesn't matter where you come from, how to lower your tax rate from maybe 40%, 50%, whatever it is that you're paying now, to 0%, and how I've lowered my tax rate from the 40-something% when living in the US to the 0% living here and having a different type of company that I'm going to talk all about in this video. And really quick before we start, I'm not a tax professional, I'm not an accountant, I'm not a lawyer, I'm just a guy talking on YouTube. So make sure to do your own research about all these topics. If you have questions, if you have comments, comment below. But I just want to tell you, I'm not a professional, I'm not liable. If you do any mistakes, please do your own research after watching this video. Okay, so the first thing to note is I'm gonna talk about non-US citizens first, and then I'm gonna talk about US citizens. You're a different type of people. We're a different type of people because I'm also one of you. So I'm gonna put a special part just for US citizens because you are taxed on your citizenship, not your residence. You can skip over to that part. You'll see the timeline here on the video. You can just skip to that. And we'll talk about non-US citizens first. So let's say you are from Canada, Sweden, France, Spain, very high tax country, and you've just built your business, grown your business, maybe you're doing crypto, you're doing investments, whatever that is, and you're making a lot more money, and your government is knocking at the door saying, hey, where's my 40%? Where's my 50%? Like in Japan, I've seen a lot of people trying to lower their tax rate from 50%. Like one of my clients, for example, he's in Italy. He's grown his Shopify business to over $1 million. He now noticed that he has to pay like 45% to Italy, and he's trying to look for options to see where he can move his business. You have many things that you can do. Now, the first thing that you need to know is that you'll have to move out of your country of residence and citizenship. Let's say you're from Spain and you've built up a business, really successful, and now you have to pay 30-something%, 40-something% to Spain. You can't really live in Spain, have a company somewhere else, and then funnel the money through that. You can't stay in Madrid and then funnel the money through Dubai and then tell the Spanish tax authorities, oh no, I'm making money through my Dubai company. I don't need to pay tax to Spain. That doesn't really work. That could get you in a lot of legal trouble, so please don't do that. What you will need to do is move out of Spain to a lower tax jurisdiction, whether that's Malta has a pretty low tax. You can move to Hungary. You can move to obviously Dubai, which is where I moved, and get 0% there. You could move to Ukraine. You could move to Bahamas. Pretty much any other jurisdiction that has a lower tax rate than Spain. You could set up a company there. For example, me, I have a lot of friends that have done this. I've personally done this. Even though I'm a US citizen, I pay tax on citizenship. But let's say I were a Spanish citizen. I moved my company to Dubai. I created a company in Dubai with my wife. We're 50% owners of that company. The process was very simple. I can talk about it on this channel, how I built my UAE company, corporation, how I built my bank accounts there and everything. And as long as you don't go back and live in Spain or whatever the country is that you're a citizen of and a taxpayer of, as long as you don't go live there, as long as you don't maintain economic ties or very strong ties to that country, and you actually move out and live in Dubai, then you won't need to worry about taxes. There might be an exit tax involved. For example, you're from Spain, you pay taxes in Spain, you move to Dubai, but you've already built up a nice net worth, a lot of income in Spain. Spain might want you, they might be okay with you moving to Dubai and paying 0% tax, but they might want you to pay some sort of exit tax. Maybe that's like a 10% of your net worth, or maybe that's a certain amount of the money that you've made or that you will make, whatever it is. Different exit taxes or different potential exit taxes work differently in every country. It's important that you look at the local law in your particular country of citizenship. When you're moving to Dubai or moving to any other place, I highly recommend Dubai. In the summer, it is very hard to live there because it's extremely hot. But if you want to go for a 0%, extremely high quality of life, extremely easy process to get a business. You could build a free zone business, so you don't even need an actual office space. The free zone that I chose is just very easy to build your business. You get your business in about 3 weeks. You get your bank account. you could get a flexi desk, you can get an address and live very, very comfortably in Dubai. You could live right next to the Burj Khalifa or even in the Burj Khalifa. The buildings next to the Burj Khalifa, there's one called Burj Vista, which I absolutely love. You can rent an apartment there for maybe $4,000, $5,000 a month, live extremely high quality of life. You can go to Dubai Mall, spend money in Dubai Mall, go to the beach, and just everything absolutely nice. Or you could go to anywhere else, for example, Malta. A lot of people like Malta because it's still in the EU, in the European Union. You can move to Malta and move your business there and essentially pay a lower amount of tax. You can move to Ireland, move your business to Ireland, pay 10 or 12% tax there. So basically you will need to move out of your country, set up a company somewhere else, and divide your ties between you and your country of citizenship and your taxpayer country. That doesn't mean that you're gonna have to forget your family forever. That doesn't mean that you can't take a vacation there, but you will need to talk to an accountant or a local person that tells you, hey, you can't come for more than 1 month a year, 3 months a year. You can't re-establish tax residency. Tax residency usually means 183 days per year or more. You're a taxpayer of that country, especially if the country is your citizenship country. So first step, move out. Let's go to Dubai. Let's go to Malta. Let's go to Ireland. Set up a company there. Once you set up the company, you make sure that you get a bank account, you move your finances there, you get everything sorted in that place, you get a residence, like an actual apartment, a house, whatever it is, so that you have ties to that country. For example, in Dubai, you want to get an apartment there, so you have a lease, you have a tenancy contract, whatever it is, in Dubai. So when you show the Spanish or the German or the Swedish or the Canadian tax authorities that you live in Dubai, hey, I actually live here, I have an apartment here, I have maybe a car here, whatever it is. If you're really wealthy, maybe you buy a house there so that you can really show that you have ties to that place. Your bank is everything there. You don't have that much money still stuck in your citizenship country, and you can actually show that you moved there. And then you want to go through the steps. Maybe there's an exit tax, or maybe depending on your particular net worth or your particular income level, you will need to maybe pay some tax, some exit tax to the country of citizenship. So very simple, move out, build a company in a lower tax jurisdiction like Dubai, get a bank account, get an apartment, get absolutely all the ties that you possibly can to that actual city or that country that has a lower tax rate. Obviously, your company, everything needs to be there, and then make sure that everything back home is fine. Don't make too many ties. Don't go back there too much. Don't live there again. And you can basically pay 0% tax as much as you like. Now, if you're a US citizen, this is the special one because we pay tax on our citizenship based. So we pay tax no matter where we go. We could move to Dubai, we could move to Malta, you could move to wherever, and you still would pay tax to the US. The US is always knocking on your door. You also have to report all the bank accounts that you have all around the world. You have to report them back to the US. I have a couple of accounts in the UAE, in Dubai, and I always need to tell, hey, US, here's my bank account, here's my balance, here's how much I made, here's everything. You need to tell them. It sucks. I'm in plans to actually get rid of all of that very soon, but you will need to do it as long as you are a US citizen. Now, what you can do to reduce your tax rate, even though you still need to report everything, how much money you made, how much money you have in your bank accounts, all that, you still need to report it, even though you're paying 0%. You can still pay 0%. It's not impossible. The way to do it is, first of all, you gotta move out of the US. Once you move out, you have a $109,000 ceiling called a foreign earned income exclusion. So basically up to $109,000 you can make without paying tax on it. Obviously, if you're watching this video about avoiding taxes, you're probably making more than $100,000 a year in profit. So once you pass that, you're gonna still pay tax to the US. What you will need to do is set up a company somewhere else with a lower tax place. Let's say that's Ireland if you want to pay 10%. Let's say that's Dubai if you want to pay 0% like me. I built a company in Dubai, and there's a very, very small detail, but very important, is that you must not control the company fully. Let's say that you are a US citizen living in Florida and you want to get out of the US, you go somewhere else and you set up a company in Dubai and you're the sole owner of that company, you will need to pay a certain percent called the GILTI tax. And the GILTI tax, President Trump actually was the one that started that. It will be around 10 or 12% that you're gonna pay if you 100% own that company. Now, to get away from the GILTI tax, you can own 50%. So it could be you and somebody that is not a US citizen. So if it's a US citizen and your US citizen spouse, then you're pretty much screwed. You're gonna still pay the GILTI tax. If it's you and a non-citizen spouse, great. If it's you, non-citizen partner, friend, whatever, as long as it's legal, that person actually working in that company, you can do that. So 50 and 50 with somebody that is actually working a lot in that company. And then you would pay 0% tax. So all your US taxes will need to be reported. Everything will still be reported, but you'll pay 0 if you own 50% or less of a foreign corporation and all your earning is made through that company. So basically create a company somewhere else, 50% of the company is owned by you, 50% owned by somebody that is not a US citizen, you can basically pay 0% tax. Or you could also move to Puerto Rico and pay 4%. That, I don't really recommend it. I know I'll get a lot of bad comments about this. I'm from Puerto Rico. I lived 18 years in Puerto Rico until I moved to Europe, and I don't really recommend Puerto Rico if you're just going there for the tax benefits. Let's say you're going there because you love the beaches. We have amazing, amazing nature, amazing water. Maybe you're going there because you want to learn Spanish and you don't really want to go to Latin America or somewhere else. You want to go to Puerto Rico, learn Spanish. Maybe you want to go because your girlfriend is from there, whatever it is. A reason that is more than the taxes, because if you're just going for the taxes, you're going to have to live there 6 months or more every single year. You're going to have to actually be in Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico is a pretty small island. It can get very boring very fast. It's not that safe. You have to be very careful with the crime, with just theft, just things that happen all around the island. It's also overpriced. You're going to be paying a lot more money for basic goods than you would anywhere else. So if you're moving to Puerto Rico, make sure it's not just for the taxes, and don't think you can also like find some loophole. Like, say that you're in Puerto Rico, but not really move to Puerto Rico, like just put your finances there, but then go live somewhere else. No, that's a criminal act. That is illegal. You can't do that. You actually need to live in Puerto Rico. And then the other thing you can do apart from moving, setting up a company, 50%, you can pay 0% tax, or go to Puerto Rico, lower your tax dramatically, is renounce your citizenship, renounce your US passport, which I'm in the process of doing. I actually bought another passport. I'm gonna make a video about that. I bought a passport for a lot of money, and that passport, I'm using it to quit my US citizenship. You can't live in the US anymore. You can visit the US again. You can live there if you, for example, get a residence permit with another passport. So you can theoretically go back and live in the US, but you're gonna pay taxes again, so it doesn't make any sense. So if you renounce your US citizenship, you can still go back to the US. You can't, go there and do whatever you want because you're not a citizen anymore, and you will have to abide by the tax laws or the laws of whatever country you're a citizen of. So for example, I'm doing a citizenship where that country has a 0% tax. I'll talk about that later on, and I won't pay tax basically after I renounce my US citizenship. I won't need to report, I won't need to pay, I won't need to basically do anything because that country that I'm a citizen of will not tax me, and I'll renounce my US citizenship, so I won't need to pay tax to the US. So those are your basic steps, is set up a company somewhere else. And also it's important to know if you are an investor, if you make passive income, if you make capital gains. So for example, you buy and sell homes in somewhere else like Germany, that's not deducted. Like you can't actually deduct that. You can't pay 0% on that. You'll still need to pay capital gains. If you're in crypto, if you trade Bitcoin, if you're buying altcoins and selling them, then that will all be taxable. You can't really lower that to 0% like you would earned income. So if you have earned income, like from a business, you can set up a company, do it 50-50, pay 0%. But if you have, let's say, passive income or crypto income or stocks or investments or Forex trading, whatever it is, you will need to pay tax on it. The only way is to move to Puerto Rico, pay 4%, or renounce your citizenship and then pay 0% or pay whatever percent you want of the citizenship that you get or that you have, your second citizenship. So that's basically how to avoid paying taxes, an introduction to it. If you want more videos like this, please comment down below. Let me know your questions. Let me know your thoughts. I'm happy to answer them. I love international taxation. I've been traveling all over the world. I've been doing it myself because I set up a company in Dubai, trying to lower my tax rate, trying to learn about citizenship, about all these different topics that I absolutely love to talk about. So let me know down in the comments if you want me to talk about this. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, hit that notification bell, and that like button, and check out the other videos here on the channel. I'll see you on the next one.